What to do with your soda bottles when they look like this. Most people would throw them back. But if you spray paint them, they can look good again. Of course, they'll never be worth near as much as they would be if they were perfect in the first place, but they certainly display a lot better. And you can probably get $12 to $20 a piece for them eventually. So I painted a number of mine dark brown to look like an amber soda. But then I saw in an antique shop somebody spray painted a milk bottle gold. And I thought it looked pretty good, so I went and got some gold spray paint and painted up a bunch of my sodas that color. So they look pretty neat when they're painted up. But if you don't fill in the dings, then it doesn't look too good. So I started filling those in with resin before I paint them. So here's some of the before pictures. I'm going to paint these ones up later today. You also don't have to worry about tumbling them if you're painting them, because this one certainly would require a lot of polishing. I'm not going to worry about trying to fix that hole in the back of it, because that would be a lot of work. Since the embossing is on this side, it'll still look good on the shelf. And this one, of course, is extremely valuable, or would have been. And to find one that has the neck on it still is quite rare. I had to fill in a big hole right there, so that's kind of going to look weird when I paint it. But still, that's about a $3,000 bottle if it was in perfect condition, so definitely don't want to throw that away. And the back side of the neck has a big piece missing out of it. But as long as the front display is good, it'll still look great on a shelf, especially if you don't want to pay $3,000 to get a perfect one. And this one's probably not even worth painting or saving at all. It's fairly common to begin with. But I am going to fill in this big chipped out section just to show you. It takes a lot of effort to fill these in, so this one's probably a waste of time to do that too. But and here's a base chip that was very large that I filled in with resin probably 3 or 4 times. Now I have to sand it down to get it nice and rounded off. And here's another one. This one's not too bad, but I still think I'm going to paint it. And a North Wilkesboro 1915. And here's a very rare bottle. Cherry Blossoms from Greenville, North Carolina. I have found 3 or 4 of these. This is the worst example, so I'll paint that one up. And a Kinston, North Carolina. Straight-sided Coke. Severely fractured. And then a Chiro Cola, which is quite a common bottle usually. But this one's from Kinston, and they are very rare. And then an Apple Cola from Savannah, Georgia. And a Greenville, North Carolina Chiro Cola. And a very unusual 3-sided from Texas. It's called It. So hopefully that'll look good when I paint it up. And this flask, somebody put a little fracture in the side of it, so it just got that one little problem, but it has a lot of stain in it too. And then a White House, got some pretty big fractures on the bottom. For some reason these are made of bad glass, and they almost always have cracks in them when I dig them up. And another Tarboro triple scripted Pepsi. And a Christmas Coke from Greenville. And this is a pretty nice bottle here. Don't see too many of these. This is a Greenville also. It's about a 1919. And then this rare Orange Crush bottle, which is also from Greenville, North Carolina. It's not too bad looking the way it is, but still, I think it would look a little better if I painted it. Well, I just sprayed that one. Looks pretty good so far. Yep, definitely looks better than it used to. And now we'll do these. Looking good. Now for these. Well, should I invest in gold or antique bottles? Well, I think I'll do both. Well, they came out pretty good. No complaints, except for the fact that I forgot to fill that little hole in right there. And that one. Well, there you have it. Looks pretty good. I think I'll put this one in my collection. Even one of these ugly Chiro-Colas looks better painted than it does in perfect condition. So I guess you're gonna stop throwing these away now, once you see how beautiful they can be after you paint them. And a few of them I went ahead and painted the embossing white. It certainly looks good. It's just very time consuming. Gotta have a steady hand also. And there's one of the gold ones with white. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? And then another. Then the classic drum style Pepsi, painted with white. It's got a little bit of a messed up spot right there, but still looks pretty good on the shelf. Then this one, I left the top unpainted on purpose so people could see that it really is an antique aqua bottle. And I went ahead and filled in this big hole with resin. Spent about 3 weeks. Came out pretty good, but not so perfect where the P is in that big loop. If you don't have one of these, this would still be a pretty good display item. There's a pretty rare one. Even though the paint is supposedly gold, it looks more like they're brass bottles. Well, that's about it for this time.